So the Vive Focus Vision has been out for a while now, and throughout that time I've been using it and testing a lot of things on this headset, and I believe this is a good amount of time for me to give my own thoughts about it. I pre-ordered mine the day after the official reveal video on their YouTube channel, which comes with the Vive streaming kit for DisplayPort mode. There's a lot I want to go over, and hopefully this will answer the important question if this headset is right for you. Looking at the Focus Vision on paper, it's got a lot of bells and whistles going for it, like built-in eye tracking, auto IPD adjustment, the quick release button behind the head strap, and the thing that caught my attention is the DisplayPort mode, which I'll get to later. The entire headset shares the same structure as the Focus 3, with the only noticeable visual differences being the two pass-through cameras at the front and the depth sensor. Vive calls the Focus Vision a hybrid headset, which means it's a standalone and can be a tethered PCVR headset. All of this sounds amazing, and it only costed me... yeah, this ain't cheap. Okay, look. I know Vive's track record hasn't been the greatest, however, I do like Vive because they offer some of the greatest accessories and headsets that I personally have enjoyed, like the Vive Pro Eye, the XR Elite, the 3.0 trackers, and the Ultimate trackers. Going over the unboxing, you get the headset, 2 controllers, the hot swappable battery pack, a 30-watt power adapter to charge the battery pack, a cleaning cloth, a glasses spacer, a USB-C splitter cable to charge the controllers, and guidebooks with warranty information. The battery pack will last around 2 hours before you have to recharge it, which will take roughly 30 minutes to an hour to fully charge it, at least seemingly from my testing. For the specs and features, it's got a 2448 by 2448 dual LCD display with dual element Fresnel lenses, which also hosts the built-in eye tracking cameras and sensors. It has 2 USB-C ports, one on the right side of the headset and the other in the magnetic cover at the front. For performance, it has what Vive calls an optimized Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 chip with 12 gigs of memory, a max refresh rate of 90 Hz, and 128 GB of internal storage with an option to use a micro SD card to expand the storage up to 2 TB, which is located inside the headset on the left side. This headset also has a built-in internal battery, which is there to keep the headset on and idle for about 20 minutes for you to swap out the battery pack for a new one, which is extremely useful. For tracking, it's an inside-out tracked headset with 2 pass-through cameras. These cameras are in 3D, which is depth correct, and it's pretty sharp. I can clearly read text through the cameras from my phone and my monitor, as long as I'm close enough to read them. Now, looking at the specs, there's nothing to write home about, and considering you're spending this much on a new VR headset, it leaves a lot to be desired, but my results have been interesting. More on that later. Looking at the controllers, they're similar to the Quest controllers with the button and thumbstick layout, with the differences being that they have rechargeable batteries that last up to 15 hours, they have longer grips, and the grip and trigger buttons click when you fully press them down. These buttons click, and they act as another button input for PCVR, similar to how the index triggers function. When it comes to me though, I get nothing out of this, but I can see where this can become useful. Personally, the controllers feel a bit cheap, and I definitely would not feel confident in these controllers to take a beating like accidentally punching a wall, but these do feel good in my hands because of the longer grips, which I really like. Alright, moving on to audio. The speakers on the headset are actually really good, which have good bass response as well. As for the microphone, well, what if I told you that you're actually listening to it to how it sounds right now? It's noise and echo canceling, and this is going to depend if this is serviceable to you and this is your personal preferences, but as for personally hearing it for myself, it kinda sounds good. There's also a 3.5mm audio jack on the right side of the headset if you wish to use your own headphones. For the comfort, this is completely subjective, but for me, it feels comfortable and lightweight due to its good weight distribution from the battery pack being located behind the rear head cushion and the face cushion being made from a leather material, which is easily cleanable and very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. For glasses wearers, as I also wear them myself, it fits comfortably with a generous size length to accommodate them, and I never had to worry about scratching the lenses thanks to the glasses spacer. And now for the visual experience, which is honestly one of the most important factors of any VR headset. These Fresnel lenses are square shaped and have a small sweet spot compared to other headsets, but to be fair, you won't notice it unless you're really looking for it with just your eyes outside of your center of your field of view. These lenses also suffer from a bit of glare in any contrasting scenes, although the image through these lenses is very sharp and clear thanks to the auto IPD adjustment, which helps make everything look great. It has a range of 57 to 72mm, which is really useful if you plan on sharing this headset around with others and for simple recalibration. However, what's weird to me is that they only note the horizontal field of view, which is 120 degrees, but they don't note vertically. What I found, it's roughly 80 degrees. To put it simply, it looks like you're watching a widescreen movie with those black bars on the top and the bottom of the screen. Now what I'm saying sounds bad for a lot of people, but once you get immersed in VR, you tend to forget about these things, unless, like I said, you're really looking for it. Alright, and now for the bread and butter of this video. So how is the user experience in standalone and PCVR? Alright, so first of all, turning on and off this headset was a bit confusing to me the first few times, because to turn it on, you have to press and hold the power button on the back of the head strap, which is pretty straightforward. But you need to press and hold the left headset button, which brings up the power options menu to shut it down or restart it. This took me a while to get used to, because I was using the power button to shut it off, but instead it puts it into sleep mode, and by the time I want to use it again, it's already dead. So if you decide on getting this headset, just make sure you shut this thing off with the left headset button when you're done using it. Anyways, the setup process for the headset was pretty straightforward, and you can use either the Vive Manager app or do the process inside the headset. During the setup process, it sets up your IPD and gives you a quick tutorial on how to use the headset. Afterwards, you are then put into your home environment. While there's not much to look at, it's not really a deal breaker because you'll most likely spend a lot of time playing some games and applications. Testing out the standalone and tracking capabilities, I played a wide variety of games and the tracking is pretty spot on. I never lost tracking unless the controllers or the tracking LEDs are outside of the camera's field of view, but doing fast-paced movements was never really a problem to me. Now everything here is captured directly from the headset itself, and recording footage in the headset doesn't affect performance. Now performance can be a hit or miss, depending on the games and applications of course. But it feels just like how you expect a standalone headset to work. I never had any moments where gameplay feels slowed for me, and I was able to play games just fine. Although throughout my time I found a couple of games where it felt slow and my hand movements can feel a little sluggish or delay at times. And one of those examples is Hubris. This game was really fun to play, however my hands and reaction times compared to in-game are seconds apart. This could be due to the game not being optimized for the chipset, but who knows. Hand tracking is supported on the Vision and it looks cool to look at, but it isn't the best and has a long way to go. When playing something like Workout XR, hand tracking would feel delayed and a bit slow to respond, but if you're doing something casual, then the hand tracking works okay. If you're playing anything that requires heavy processing or there's a lot happening on screen, the internal fan will speed up and can be loud. Although, there have been a few updates to the firmware, so I never really noticed it or paid close attention to it because of me playing some games, but it's very apparent when you turn on pass-through. For all of you VRChat users out there, you can play this thing standalone, but it's just straight up unplayable for me. Every time I want to go to a new world or visit friends, it tends to crash. I can load into my home world okay, but as long as I can visit places that have very few people or don't require a lot of download sizes, it can work fine. But overall, this game tends to crash a lot for me. The Focus Vision is fully capable of mixed reality, whether you're using pass-through as your home environment or playing some mixed reality games. You can also use hand tracking in mixed reality as well, although I don't really have much to show here apart from, well, this game. Alrighty, and time for the main focus for this headset is PCVR Use. Before you can do that, you have to make sure that your computer meets the specification requirements, which you can find on the Vive website located in the Vive streaming section, which you can also find in the Vive Hub that you will also need. When you connect the Vision to the Vive Hub, all of your purchased Steam VR games will be listed in the PC library section, and you can manually set this as your default library, which is very, very nice. The Vive Hub features a lot of options to change your experience in VR, such as graphical settings, input methods, downloading your recording and screenshots from the headset, and an option to transmit eye and face tracking data through OSC and VRChat. More on this in a bit. There's 3 ways you can connect this headset to your PC. You can connect it wirelessly with a fast home network using Vive Hub or Virtual Desktop, using a link cable, and finally, using Vive Streaming Kit for DisplayPort mode. This streaming kit stole the show for me for using the Vision as a PC VR headset because it essentially makes my Focus Vision a proper tethered headset like the Index. For my testing, I used a link cable and mainly the DisplayPort mode because I don't really have the best Wi-Fi connection to do it wirelessly. Now, before I go on, I just want to note a couple of things. If you use a link cable with the Vision, the power gets drawn from the battery pack, which will drain over time, while in DisplayPort mode, the battery never drains and gets power from the link converter. Throughout my experiences, I had lossless streaming compression over this type of connection and everything feels smooth and instant while playing my games. I've had some occasional disconnects from the Vive Hub from time to time, however in my case they are very minor. Even though I'm getting identically what I'm normally getting from a normal PC VR headset, the cable tends to add a little bit of weight on the right side of the headset. Putting it on with the cable attached, it would tend to pull the headset down to the right side of my head. They tell you to wrap the Velcro straps around the headset arm here, but because of that, you get that added force. Now my tip for this is before putting the headset on is to tilt the headset to the left a tad, so when putting it on with the cable, it will pull it down a bit and you can even it out. What is pretty amazing is I can enable pass-through while in PCVR and go back into VR with no hassle, and if you lose connection from the Vive Hub, you can close it and reopen it as if nothing ever happened. Now to add on to this, if you happen to exit Vive streaming while Steam VR is on, it will remain on so you can jump back into it with no problems at all. Another thing I don't see any other headset doing from what I've seen is you can record and take screenshots in the headset while in Steam VR. This doesn't impact performance, so if you want to record gameplay and not go through the hassle of using recording software since most of the time it records one display from your eye, then this will work fine for you. And now for the VRChat side of things on PC. It is a much better experience and I can get a steady frame rate in busy lobbies. Now for the eye tracking in VRChat, which is what they advertise a lot of use cases for, the cameras are located at the bottom of the lenses, and depending on where you're coming from, it can be very concerning for tracking accuracy. In my opinion though, this is the easiest solution for getting eye tracking to work in Steam VR without much hassle. If you used anything like the Vive Pro Eye or a Quest Pro, you would have to go through hoops and use a useful program called VRC Face Tracking to transmit the data to VRChat using OSC. For the Vision, you can transfer the data straight from the Vive Hub itself and you don't have to do much troubleshooting to get it working. You can use VRC Face Tracking if you wish, as they have a module for Vive streaming. Alright, testing out the Vive Focus Vision's eye tracking. I'm just going to go ahead and do some simple movements left and right. I'm going to go up and down. Just going to spin my eyes a little bit. Alright, now for blinking. Alright, individual blinking. Close it and move one eye. Same thing with the other. Small squinting. It's not really that good, but it's the job done, I guess. Now, this avatar that I'm using has the best face tracking support that I have seen and has the best examples, and it looks pretty good for the most part. Now, I want to show you what the eye tracking was like after its launch. Now, it wasn't very good as it should be, especially when you squint your eyes. As far as I'm aware of, they are going to improve and or fix this in the near future, but only time will tell. When it comes to getting a brand new VR headset today with eye and face tracking, for that matter, at this point the Focus Vision would be your best bet, especially for its price. In conclusion, I wasn't really expecting to like the Focus Vision as much as I have. Even though it has its fair share of flaws, I can see myself using this headset for a long time, especially for what it has to benefit me. It has a lot of quirks and features that I thoroughly enjoy, such as the DisplayPort mode, the convenience to use eye tracking for PCVR, and the ability to do content creation on the fly. And now comes the important question. Is the Vive Focus Vision worth buying? Well, I'm not going to say that you should, because this is all going to depend on you. Maybe the Vision has features that will be beneficial to you. Maybe you want eye and face tracking headset that's widely available. Or maybe the price of the Vision is way too high for what it offers. In the end though, this is all just my opinion and how I feel about the Focus Vision, and if there's any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments down below, and I will do my best to respond the best way that I can. But overall, yeah, thank you all for watching. See ya.